Hi everyone, I'm James and this is my Spitfire. In today's episode I'm going to be getting the transmission back into it. So here we go.
To start with, I'm going to check the condition of the clutch before I put the transmission over the top of it. I'm using the locating tool so that when I take the clutch assembly out, the clutch plate doesn't fall on the ground. Now I'm just using the impact driver to get the bolts out. One trouble I had with this is the edge of the clutch housing is actually quite close to the bolt heads, so I had to mess around with different types of sockets till I found a suitable solution that was easy to get them out with. The plate was a little tough to get off due to the locating pins, of which there are 2 on either side of the plate, but I managed to get it off in the end.
Okay, so we have one friction plate. It's the flywheel side. Here's the other side. You can see the rivets do have a wee way to go. The friction plate has these ridges in it. I assume they're by design, so there's no way that would happen from the clutch, so it all looks okay. Right, I'll go measure the thickness of this. I think it's meant to be over 7 millimeters. Okay, let's see here. See that? We got 7.04. Let's measure it in a few places. .92, 6.86. According to the internet, I really need to worry about is the distance that the rivet heads are from the top of the plate. So I've just been round and measured that. But here. And we can see they're all sort of 0.9 millimeters or more on both sides, so that would seem to be not too far off what a new one is. So I'm going to put this back in for now because it's going to take a while to get the new one anyway.
So I'm just putting the assembly back in the same way I took it out. A couple of extra steps I'm doing though is because I'm using different bolts, I just checked that they didn't bottom out in the hole before I bolted everything down, and obviously doing them up carefully so that the pressure's even all round, and then torquing them up to finish. And to stop the flywheel turning while I was torquing it, I used a little wedge against the flywheel teeth. Right, now time to actually get the transmission into the car. This certainly wasn't an easy thing to do, but it is still doable on your own.
After a bit of wrestling, the transmission is now in place. I just need to do up the bolts. See here my little ramp arrangement for mounting the transmission. I was a bit thwarted by it because the transmission mounts slightly lower at the bottom than the engine plate. And to solve that, what I've done here is put a block of wood under the front of the ramp, lowered the jack a little bit to give it a tiny bit of an upwards angle, That allowed me to get the transmission to slide into place properly. Okay, there we go. All the bolts put back in. Unfortunately, I can't do things like test the motor and stuff because while assembling everything had a couple of failures. The pipe for the clutch sleeve cylinder, the nut on that was cracked, finally broke entirely, so that's off at the moment. And also the lug for the starter motor at the starter motor end, the tab on that broke off, so I need to get a new one of those. So we'll have a look at sorting that out probably in the next video also. One thing I did change when I was bolting everything together, the bolts that make the bell housing to the engine plate are originally 1 inch, and when I put my new bolts in I found the 1 inch ones only just made it all the way through the nuts, which means they're not properly engaged. You want a couple of threads clear out the end of the nut so that the threads are full width. So what I've done is change out the bolts for 1.25 inch ones. That gives them the proper strength that they need to hold things in place. Obviously the car's built on a budget at the time, so everything would have been bare minimum, and I like to do a little better than bare minimum. With the bolts all in, transmission's all ready to go. We just need to sort out those last few things to fix. Okay, so we're slowly getting there. Got a few more things in place, a couple of things to fix, but all in all, good progress. So now on to the next thing. Please, if you like the video, click that thumbs up button and hit the comment section if you got any questions for me. And to see what's coming next, make sure you click on the subscribe button and ding that bell to get notifications in your inbox. So yeah, we're getting there. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye.